representative from Geoscience Department UTP. So tonight we have another sharing session with you. So we are very lucky to have one of our alumni, Mr. Avalon Chin, together with us, sharing with you his working experience in Petronas in these few years. So I think you can say hello to everyone, Avalon.
Hi everyone. Nice to meet at you. How should we go about on this?
Yeah, so I think tonight I'm going to like ask you a few questions lah about a little bit about your pre-university time, and then a little bit about your internship, and then I have a few more questions for you on your working experience in Petronas. And at the same time, we see whether you have any questions you can ask. So we will look at your question and then we try to answer you on the spot or see how. I think before that, I should introduce Avalon Chin first. He's since 2014 upon receiving Bachelor of Technology in Petroleum Geoscience from UTP Geoscience Undergraduate Program in the same year. Since then, he is still serving Petronas and has worked on different roles as well as oil and gas explorations project, not only limited to Malaysian's basin but also in few other basins around the world. Okay, so I think we can start our some sort of interview sessions with Avalon, so that you can know more about like how it works or how you get until today. Yeah? So I think I will start with the question in his pre-university time. Okay. So I think Avalon,
Yep, sure.
please tell us about your education background before UTP.
Okay, sure. Hi, Chimeng. Yeah, a very good
Hi,
evening to
hello.
everybody. This
Yeah,
is
forgot to let you.
no worries. Let's do this a little bit informal, or even you want
Oh,
to
yeah,
be a little bit
true.
formal. So it's just a little bit chit chat session here, and thank you so much for inviting me to feature you in this video. Indeed, an honor, and it's good to sort of like be back with to your own alma mater, your own school, and very happy to able to share with you this evening. And I hope everybody's had their dinner and continue to stay at home. And this MCO is very important. Okay, so you are playing a part of role. All right, so stay with us tonight and stay at your hostel or even stay at home. Okay, so yeah, promote a little bit campaign by government. Okay, so basically we start with I graduated from my high school in the year of 2008, and in December 2018 I was sort of like a few that got lucky in my school to be called for interview for Petronas sponsorship program. So at that time they took about I went for the interview. It was like sort of like a written test and also like educam. So we have IQ test, English test, maths and science and all those things. So not long after, first week of January 2019, I was being accepted, and it was really thank God that I accepted the offer. They provided the offer and the opportunity for me to further my studies to for furthering my study to UTP. So so it's like um it's like a great opportunity for us. Okay, let's see a photo of me in back in 2009.
Wow, you
So
nice. You can even
yeah,
show this
okay.
over here. Okay,
Yes.
very
So it is
fun.
actually back in 2009. Is there a photo showing up? Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry, some technical error.
No, no problem, no problem. Actually,
Okay.
we should thank to a brother of Avalon. He's helping us on this broadcasting. Otherwise, I couldn't manage. We are all like me and Avalon. We are geologists. We are all doing rock things. We don't know how to work work this out, basically.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
photo is up. So sorry, I'm using a mirror image, so I have to look at the computer to make sure it is able to broadcast it out. Okay, so this is picture back in 2009 when I firstly enrolled university, and throughout the years, I think that when I graduate, I gained some weight, I would say. So UTP
So
is
you didn't
in,
change much, likely.
yeah. So I gained some weight. Wait, let me show you a photo of mine in terms of graduation. So you see, that's my lecturer, which is my also supervisor in the final year program. So uh, thank God for him that he teach me all the way and he guide me all the way throughout the years. So that's about a little bit of education and how I get into UTP. Yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot, Avalon. You already share a lot. I think more than
But it's okay. So yeah.
more things. I
Uh,
think people also want to know, how you get interest on geoscience, because geoscience, I think, is not a very famous subject among Malaysian, I think.
uh,
So, how you get interested into these topics, petroleum geoscience or geoscience,
okay.
at the beginning, before you enter university?
First of all, to be honest, we don't really get to hear much about petroleum geoscience program in the beginning,
Mm.
but we are quite familiar with the course of geology because it's actually um, a course offered in different university, especially public universities. They offer geology. So in the beginning, I did not sign up for petroleum geoscience because that at that time the scholarship for Petronas they have not implemented this geoscience course yet back in 2009. So
Oh.
yeah, so it's kind of like in the pioneer batch, but it's quite lucky to be one of the pioneer batch. I think my batch is the third batch. So um,
You mean third batch in
third batch in
petroleum
yep
geoscience
in
program in UTP?
yes, it is petroleum geoscience third batch. So you can see those are my awesome course mates. So yeah, so those these classmates give me a very memorable and a very pleasant memory as they
Okay.
accompany me to complete this course and also we get to encourage one another as we go to these through difficult times. So
Mm.
back then when I completed my foundations in what do you call this? A foundation in petroleum engineering. So
Oh, really?
so
You are in petroleum
yes,
engineering first?
yep.
Oh,
I
okay.
began with petroleum engineering. So at that time, I think that was the closest towards to what I really want. So I choose three courses.
Mm.
Among the three courses, I managed to get petroleum engineering. So thankfully, we have these two lecturers at that time. I believe some of them still get to recognize him. On the left is Prof. Bernard,
Oh,
and on the
okay.
right is
Oh,
Dr. Chow. So at
good
that
job.
time, Professor Bernard gave a talk on the petroleum geosciences and what do they do. So it was quite interesting, and I get attracted what they do because I think that's the only course that you get to go outside and explore a little bit rather than just sitting in classroom with numbers or even theory. So I'm personally more towards a fan of environment. So I like to go out. So I think that geoscience is fun. When I look at the senior, they say, "Oh, it's quite a enjoyable course. It's quite an
Mm.
enjoyable course. So therefore, you should pick you should pick geoscience." Even my friends and seniors, or even some of my back then, my school counselor says, "Oh, go ahead, give it a try. Why not?" So I picked geoscience as one of the course. Yeah.
Good point, good point. I think a lot of people who are like the outdoor activities, this is one of your choice.
Yeah.
Geoscience really have a lot. Field trips,
Mm-hmm.
field works that allow you to go out. No need to sit in the office always.
Yep.
So yeah, so good points, Evelyn. So I think this I think enough for pre-university parts.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go to another also important periods in your study. It's the internship time. So, where's your internship times? That time, which company you are intern
Okay,
and
hold
what you
on.
are doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Hazik. I will adjust my mic volume. Um. Yeah.
Too
So
loud.
no, no. In fact, it is actually a little bit soft. So
Oh,
thank you very much
okay.
for the feedback. I'm tuning the volume for the time being. Hi, hello,
Okay.
Sergio. Nice to meet you. Right. So continuing back to our story or my journey to become a geoscientist. So
Mm,
basically, I started an internship um with a company called the Biostratex. So basically, that's where I started my internship. So I did my internship in micropaleontology, so more towards
awesome.
biostratigraphy. So it's
Yeah.
more towards like fossils and also fossils and how do we use those fossils and those ancient living beings
Mm.
to use to integrate as part of geology data. So I think that not many youngsters or many young people would want to adventure in this. It is like studying
Maybe you still can tell
biology.
them what kind of fossils you're looking at.
Yeah, so this is the team that we have last time. So we have the seniors also from UTP, and thank God that time we have juniors also from UTP. So we have a family complete of UTP.
Oh, okay, okay. Sure,
Yeah,
okay.
engineering. So Onyx is part of. I mean, Onyx is the mother company of Bioshotech. So basically, what we do is we provide. We are a service provider company. We are a
Mm.
service provider company. Oh, hi, Natasha. So we are a service provider company whereby we provide
Hi. Okay.
service for people to send in their samples for biostratigraphic analysis, for geochemical analysis. So throughout the internship, I learned not only biostratigraphy work, but I also learned about geochemistry. At least you get to know the basics of it. So it's
Okay.
quite useful. So yeah. So um, I get to learn a lot of things lah throughout the internship. Okay. So
Okay.
basically, I think probably people would want to know what did I learn, right? So just sharing part of it, which is I learned not only you have to be strong in technical, which is you have to be strong in the soft skill, whereby I learned a lot of presentation styles and also how do geoscience people integrate their data in terms of technical. You how you prepare a sample, which really helps a lot during in developing your characters. Internship program by UTP is 8 months. I think many companies I would say that would prefer UTP people because it is 8 months. It's a long period whereby you can learn many stuff in terms of technical or even in terms of working ethics as well. So another thing that I want to point out is working ethics, and also because when you starts to work, you need to learn how to do like self discipline, and you not only carrying your internship but as an identity of that company. You are a part of the company, so you not only have to take care of the image of your own, so you have to take care of the image of a company even though you are a student and so on. So yeah, that's the internship company that I went to, Biostratex. It's a very
Okay.
memorable and fun learning
Okay.
experience.
Thanks a lot, Avalon. I think you already to my second questions actually,
So,
because my second question is like the impact of the UTP internship program to your career, your future career, means your current career. I think you already shared a little bit with us.
yes,
So
yes.
the 7 8 months program like give you a
Mm-hmm.
lot training on the communication, soft
Yep.
skill things, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So I think now we can come to our main course now. So the working experience in
Main
Petronas.
course.
So I think after you graduate,
Okay.
I think you almost directly go into Petronas, right? Is
Yes,
it?
yes, indeed. So I've been serving Petronas faithfully for this year. It will be 6 years in July. Yay! So
Mm.
so 6 years serving
It's
Petronas
quite
as
a long time.
no, it's okay. It passed very fast, passed very fast. So you
Okay.
imagine the photo that I show is 2009, and when I graduated, it's like 2014, and now a glimpse at an eye,
Oh,
you are already
okay.
in year 2020. So it's quite fast. I would say
Okay.
that in terms of working, so working earlier of the startup, I think it will
Mhm.
be a challenging for the fresh grad, especially when you don't have much working experience, when
Mm.
you want to, so eagerly you want to contribute more, and with the fire enthusiastic, okay, now, so I have just graduated from Petronas Geoscience, so what's next? So what do I have? What is the industry
True.
have for me, offer for me? I think every graduate will ask, so what has the industry has for me? So what can
Mm.
I do to contribute more in the industry? So thankfully that when I started my career in Petronas, I wasn't alone. So as you can see, I have a few very good mentors that really can help me out, or even teach me along the way. So I'm thankfully and thank God that I meet them. So if you see the man on the most left hand side, okay, so those are the biostratigrapher in Petronas, as well as the lady in red. So yeah, so basically I get to learn not only technical skills from them, but then they also teach me in terms of working ethics, in terms of how to behave, or how to be a being in the industry. Because in the
Mm.
industry, it requires a relationship with people. It
Mm.
requires not only working technical stuff, but also in terms of soft skills, in terms of relation with people. I think it's very important, and working ethics.
I
Yeah,
think true.
yeah, so
Yes.
those people
Yes.
really teach me and help me to grow earlier stage of the of my career. So they
Mm.
help me to grow not only in technical, so in also being a well-being of a person. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Avalon have a very good point. When
Yes.
you come to industry, it's not only technical part you need to take care.
Yes.
Your soft skill, the relation with your colleagues, that one you also is a very major role, I would say. Like, yeah, if you come out working, you know lah. That one is play quite important roles. Uh,
Okay.
Working with people sometimes not easy, but okay, we still can adapt it.
Yes,
So
you
I
have to
think
learn and adapt.
Avalon already show to us like, oh, there actually a lot of geologists inside Petronas. So I
Yes.
think some of you maybe might want to know actually roughly how many geologists in Petronas, and what are their tasks in Petronas? Because maybe there are a few hundreds, so what they are doing. So maybe roughly you can introduce to us what geologists are doing in Petronas.
Right. Okay. So, first of all, we would like to say, I think the rough number that we have in the upstream Petronas as a whole, we have about 600, if I'm not wrong. This is based on, I think it's 2019 figure. So
Mm.
600 is only in Petronas, but we haven't considered the one that working outside. So yeah, so we have 600. So what do we do? So of course, when we in Petronas as a geoscientist, we do studies. We do what we call in our recent initiative called smell the oil, means that you have to find the oil and gas or the hydrocarbon deposit. That's our main task, to study the area, to find for those geologist people. So that's where we find all the source rock, find all the reservoir. Of course, the reservoir must be hydrocarbon filled. Okay,
Mm.
so I'm sure you don't want the reservoir filled with water. So
Mm.
so our main task is to find oil and gas, whether in terms of geophysics or geological studies. So that is in general. So depending
Mm.
which department or division you are, whether you are in ventures, in basin. So in basin, then you have to study about basin. If in geophysics, you have to do about whether you acquiring seismic, doing processing, doing QI, doing imaging. So those are the first part of it. If you study geology, you have to know that those are the first hand, almost the first hand data you need to get, and not to forget gravity and magnetics. Then after that, how do we do? Where do we proceed from there? So we have people starting from basin interested when they start looking for basins to venture in. So once you get the basins that you want to go, then you start to buy the data. You just start to study the data. Once you have your study of data, you find suitable prospect and leads. After that, you just like pass to the venture team, or even for the PSC people like you discussed, and you think that you further evaluate that prospect and leads, then once you think that it's suitable, then you just go for preparation for drilling. And if it's upon discovery, then maybe you have continue to drill more wells and to appraisal or even production state if already become a field lah. So that's what we do as a geoscientist in Petronas. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So from your explanation, I think people now will know actually there are a lot of scope, very wide scope lah, for
Yes.
geologists working in Petronas or oil and gas explorations, not only Petronas. There's a lot of company outside
Yes,
there as
of
well.
course.
So I think, yeah, we can more specifically to you. So what is your job in Petronas? Because there are a lot of job you mentioned just now. So what is your job?
Okay.
And how it helps in the oil and gas explorations, like I said before? So you can roughly like explain to us what you are doing. Yep.
Okay, sure. So first of all, I would say that the Petroleum Geoscience course from UTP offers a very, very good basic foundation for us starters. I would say that we have the upper hand advantage. We get to know some oil and gas stuff like well logs and many different things that we get to learn in UTP before entering the industry. Well logging is just one of the example. Basically, we have the upper hand in terms like, for those who learn geophysics, you know what is geophysics, you know what's a wavelet, this and that. So that is just an example. So right, so I would say that UTP is doing a very good job in laying the foundation. At least you get like whatever you study in the undergrad, you get to learn like 30 to 40%. Well, there's much to explore, but for a beginner, you get to learn about 30% upper hand. I think it's a very huge benefit. Right, so my first job, yeah, so I prepared some pictures for you. So this is my role as a well site geologist when at the beginning of my career back in 2014. So basically, I joined Petronas in year 2014, and I get to work in as a well site and operation geologist. So I do go to the oil rig at the first 2 years of my working experience. So if you can see that I'm actually working in a small cabin called the mud logging unit. But sometimes if you are lucky, you may get to have a bigger cabin. So my job is to go to the oil rig, and whatever cuttings that they drill up come out, I'm supposed to evaluate them. And I'm so sort of like the eye for our company, whereby we oversee the operation, that what is going on in the field. So the next picture I will show you is more towards that. What do you have at the rig? So some people might have questioning. Okay, so you guys, how do you eat? How do you get to sleep? Where's your office? I'm sure some of them will be very interested. So next we have this picture, which is that I managed to snap some during the offshore experience. So you can see that I'm actually sitting in one of my office. That's where I work. And then if you can see that we have beds also. It could be double decker or it could be a single bed. So it depends on you. And then we have a leisure room. It's very different from different rigs. And of course, not to miss, we have a nice view. It depends where you are, but it is surely you get to enjoy once in a while a nice scenery, because in cities you don't see all this scenery often enough. So, and of course we do have our canteen as well. So this is the first part of my okay, so that's what my experience in the oil rig. So basically, moving on, after that, not long after, we have a little bit of I would say swapping of role, or even like sort of like progression at the time. So I was moved to geophysics in year 2016. I think it was January that time. So I'm still in operation at the time. So as you can see, it's for those who like adventure outdoor. Okay, this might be one of the suitable career for you all. So what we do is we actually we go do survey, and then we go and run seismic. This is land seismic, by the way. I get to go into a land seismic crew to learn about the seismic process, how they acquire the seismic from A to Z. So
Where is the place, this one?
this one not so convenient to convey about this.
Oh,
So this
okay,
is
okay.
sorry.
Sure, sure, sure.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a little bit
A lot of confidential data in, okay.
there's some okay, but the pictures is not so confidential.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, sure.
so yeah, but yeah, of course we show this picture to show you like how is it being done, but the location I don't think is convenient to share about
Okay,
the
okay, sure.
location.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay.
next this is the current department that I am moving into. So currently I have moved to this stratigraphy and sedimentology department. I moved there. I only stayed in geophysics for 1 year. But somehow geophysics taught me a lot of things. What about land seismic acquisition? What is the true data? What is the true reflector? Or even like what are the steps and process that you need to learn in order to get to your seismic data? So this is actually the next picture that I'm going to show you is actually from my department. Yes, it is so great working with what makes your job fun is working with a team of dynamic people and also cheerful people. I would say that we encourage one another in our daily work. So um, it is good to have a good team, to learn together and to grow together as a team. So my job in this department is as a sequence stratigrapher and biostratigrapher. Okay, so whereby my job is to study in those areas that certain like frontier areas or even known basins. So
Mm.
what we do is we actually try to predict the rocks that we have, the presence of the whether it's source rock or reservoir rock or distribution of the rocks in the particular basin, and we study how those rocks are formed and how those rocks are deposited and in which environment they are deposited like. So yeah, so it is a very good experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
this
okay.
is one of the things that we learn. Then after that I also learn, I mean I get an opportunity to venture into biostratigraphy. So it's back to micropaleontology again, so whereby we use fossils to know the rocks that we drill and in which whatever environment that those rocks are deposited. So it is truly hi Carrot.
Come back again. I'm
So
still
sorry.
looking at your picture just now.
Oh no,
So,
it's okay. Because there will be some live transition. There will be some transition. So that's why it's yeah. Okay, right. So um, do expect a little bit slight delay due to transmission problem, so probably you will see lag behind for 10 seconds, right? But the comments you can do drop the comments if or you have any question. I can try to look at my computer and I will reply accordingly. So okay, so for those who just joined us, this is my second role as a biostratigrapher in my department. So what I do is I check the fossil age. So this is like biology, that's why you call biostratigraphy. So you study the we call it this the features of the animals, and then we get to identify the species of it, and we get to know what age the rock deposit and where is it uh, being deposited, of course. Yeah, so after that, being a stratigrapher, I think that there is also another task that helped me to develop along the way. So which is I'm also involved in the helping out in leading I mean co-instructor for some geological field trip. So
mm,
I'd like to thank Mr. Shazwan also for allowing me to have the opportunity to join him as a core instructor to learn how to lead a field trip and to learn more about geology things, of course. And of course, you not only have to learn, right? So after you learn, you have to teach the subject or even to teach certain subject. So there is a saying that if you want to master a subject, then you will have to teach the subject. So for this, I get the opportunity to teach in several courses on biostratigraphy. Um, yeah, so not only have to focus in your technical work and your base work, but also you have to do as a knowledge transfer. You have to transfer whatever that you know to share with your people, right? So not forgetting that during my work, I also would also I would say that we also in our department we would also accept interns. So interns are actually we also transfer and train and to inspire younger generation. So yeah, so these are the interns that came to our department for internship, I think last year. So it is very joyful, and you able to distinguish most of the time between the interns from UTP and the interns from other universities, because when you see how the way that they talk, the way they carry themselves, you know, first impression, that is UTP student 100%. So they have some UTP genetic or trademark that is living in them. I would say that is something that UTP doing a good job in nurturing those kind of criteria in it. So yeah, so that is the my working experience so far. So what I do and how do I really um, um, cater with the this all these things, yeah. And not to forget that you also need to connect with people, so whereby you involve in a club or a society. For me, I involve in AAPG YP KL chapter, Young Professional KL chapter, whereby what we do is actually a group of geologists from different companies. We have networkings, and we also invite those speakers to join us, and we also open those session those session to other universities that they would want to join us for the some lectures or some talks with the industry experts. So like the picture at the bottom right, so I went to to give a talk like last year. So it's like to share and to inspire new people. And not to forget during all this as well that I uphold something very nice, which is still relevant up to today, whereby at first where Petronas taught me, which is energy received equals to energy return. So I get to um, have the opportunity to become one of the speakers or even one of the facilitators in petroscience, to share about the drilling stuff, the oil rig stuff, and the geology stuff. So yeah, you have the picture there. So it's great. It's great to and feels good to get to share that the knowledge. It makes me really happy that because this value is something that um some of us should learn, whereby energy received equals energy return. So it's like a contributing back into the society as well. Okay, so yeah, that's all for the um up to here my job as a geoscientist. It looks simple, the word geoscientist, but behind the word geoscientist as an individual, you have to develop your character. But after all, as a human being, I don't think you just want to work and go back home, work, and the routine repeats. So you have to do something like interesting or to even spice up your own life to make it more colorful. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Okay, thank you, Avalon, for your sharing. So I think just now you really shared a lot of different kind of tasks you handle in Petronas.
Yep.
So I think which job you like the most,
Oh,
and also like what's the most memorable task or project that you handled before
okay.
so far? So you can share it to us, like let us know like what's the thing that you most enjoy and what kind of thing that you have done before that which you make you very enjoyable and happy. You can say a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Chime. So as we go, then we will get to
Oh yeah,
share
late. I also not
automatically.
sure.
So yeah. So I'm also a very chatty person. So hi for those who just joined. Hi. Okay. Sorry, I have to look at the laptop once a while because to see any questions popping up. So, what is the
Okay, okay.
most interesting job that, or what is the most interesting? I think of all, I'm quite enjoying my current role as a stratigrapher in Petronas. Um, because the role not only involved in indoor but also involved in outdoor. So sometimes, as you can see from the previous picture, I follow certain instructors to go out to teach and to learn, and of course to teach at the end. That's the ultimate goal. So
Mm.
I think it's a very interesting thing where you not only sit and become, we call it, the new generation call it as a desktop geologist, whereby you only sit in front of computer, you interpret everything. So it is advisable to go for field trips, to go out and see the hard data, which is the rock. Sometimes the rock can tell you more data. It can tell you more about something more than just sitting in front of computer. So I think most memorable, I think, is it will be a field trip time whereby we go for a field trip in mud. I would say it's a tide dominated area. So everyone stuck in the mud, and everyone like at the end up very muddy. I think a lot of memorable scenes that I think for those who going to enroll to geoscience, do anticipate to go out more often. I think it will be a very fun time. It depend, and of course depends on who are you following to go for field work. If you go out with friends and for some lively people, then your field trip will be very very entertaining and very enjoyable, I would say. So yeah, I'm still enjoying my current task because being a biostratigrapher is one of my, I would say, aspiration. So sometimes when you tired in looking at the computers, I think, or even you tired even looking at the data, you can look on dead animals, I mean under the microscope. But nowadays I don't do it. But nowadays we just a user, so you just look at the species, you just cross check, and then it tells you some stories, even like what kind of environment, what processes they're going through. I think they tell a lot of stories. Yeah. So yep, that is the so far the most interesting thing that I've worked it. If you ask me that the most interesting task or project, I would say second to it will be conducting a land seismic. I would say that having a land seismic following the cruise, um, it's like an adventure. You're going outdoors and you're going into the forest and seeing outdoor again. So yeah, it makes me really enjoyable and memorable because I would say not many geoscientists, I would say, that we get to experience that. To So if you have the opportunity, yeah, you should go for it. You should explore and learn more. Of course, learning has no limits, even yeah, at the old age as well. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Back to you, Chi.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. I thought you got the first one. This one is second. I thought like you
Really,
like
really.
more
Okay,
question.
okay.
I'm not sure. If that's it, then it's okay lah. I can continue.
Okay, you can continue the next question.
I can continue. Okay, okay.
Even
Sorry, I
for
was a bit blank just now.
Okay. Even yeah, because at this particular hour, so I understand as well. And if those member of public, if you have questions, you can always raise your questions. We can
Mm.
try to like answer what does geoscientist do, what does UTP offer, what does geoscience program UTP do and offer. If I can't answer anything regarding UTP, we have Mr. Chee Meng. He's a lecturer from UTP. He will be able to answer. He should be able to answer you most of the question regarding UTP and geoscience program.
Yeah, try my best. Okay, so come back to our questions parts. So I think Petronas is a very big company, right? So there are a lot of people working inside.
Yep,
So
sure.
under these like MCO periods, yeah, which affecting every one of us.
Yep.
So how Petronas still keep running their business? Like you, how you are still continue working? I think you are working from home definitely.
Yep.
So how you working daily like under these conditions?
I would say that Petronas is one of the companies that I would say that they look into the HSE manner a lot. So they, for the safety of the staff, they make everyone to work from home mostly. Okay, for those operation in the field, that those who can't be avoided, they will have to continue to serve Petronas and continue to serve the nation as one of the unseen frontliner, I would say. Of course, we are working from home, and for those who have workstation, we can always work from home, connect our database. Yeah, so working from home is actually I would say I would respect those parents, especially those moms with kids. They have to divide their time and really see that they are really trying their really very best. So MCO period is a period whereby everyone have to bear with it. Yeah, so it's something that our government implement, and I think that everyone should adhere. So stay at home. So even work, you are work from home. All right. So I think Sergio has a question. How is
Oh,
WTI price crash is going to affect the industry? I think this topic uh is quite lengthy. But in general, I think that you have to know between the WTI, the brand, and different types of oils available in the market. So WTI is just one of the oils that is available in the market. But if you ask me, somehow it will affect the industry, and I will be happy to you can personally PM me, because there are a lot of good articles written in regarding this WTI lately. Maybe Facebook posts or some oil and gas experts. I can always share some of the links and some of the FB posts, which is I find interesting, and in many different angles it will affect you. So yeah, you do drop me a PM, Sergio. I can share with you with the link, because it's going to be very lengthy if I really explain here.
okay,
But
okay.
it is surely an interesting topic. But I
Mm,
expected that. That's why I did some I gathered some links and getting to be shared away after this. So
mm,
those are some suggested reading. So you, of course, you have different point of view in terms of economists, geoscientists, different people in the parts of variety of the economic layers will have different point of views. Yep.
Okay, thanks a lot, Avalon, for your answer. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very, I think will be benefit to the listener lah. I think those, huh?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I think you already share a lot about your working experience. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's your future plan in your career? I think you will still continue this career, right?
Okay. I would say that yes. As one day this industry, whether that it is this industry, how hard it is, I will, if I have the opportunity, I will still continue. Of course, the best that I can to serve Petronas. Um, or even at times there were by hard times, let's say touch wood, like something happened. So I believe that I will continue to venture this program, because this all right, Sungyo, okay, sure. You can drop me a PM. I will send you the some links. All right. So these are the tough time that really have to endure for those who really want to venture into this. I mean, you have to go through this cycle. It's a cycle. It's the economical cycle that we have. Whether you hit you hard enough, that is another thing. So therefore we need to be always be prepared for it. And I think that there's so much to learn more in geoscience field, because now I'm looking just one small part of it, which is a stratigraphy. Probably after this, I will have different plans in learning different sub disciplines of geoscience. For example, like you have basin all around the world. You have so many of them, and then you have the consultation line. Maybe you can go for like, what is this, like pore pressure, like petroleum system modeling. You can have like structural geology, sedimentology. So you can choose to major in different sub disciplines, or even um try out venture somewhere outside. Yeah,
Mm.
but mostly, please, if you have the opportunity, continue to serve Petronas. Yeah, that's all I would say.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Thanks,
good place to
Avalon.
develop. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I think until this point, I think, do you have any advice to the student who are interested in the oil and gas exploration or
Mm.
the student who are going to enroll into geoscience?
Okay. And first of all, in terms of geoscience, do bear in mind that there is no direct path, and most of the time. So let's say if you didn't get to go into the oil and gas, I would say that don't be disheartened. Um, yeah, okay, sure, Sergio. So don't be disheartened if you not manage to enter the oil and gas. But there is always, I advise people to go for a detour, whereby you can always move to different geology first. For example, mining. For example, like mapping. For example, different kind of companies, soil investigation, construction. I think those are very brings you very close to geology, so that you won't get lose touch of it. And even Petronas having some effort recently, whereby those who studied before the geology, once they are placed somewhere, they try to pull back into the geoscience. There's some movement moving around, like making back them in streamline them back into geoscience, where the specialization is lah, I would say. So for those who want to venture this, my advice is, number one, I think that sometimes there's I would say that life is a difficult question. You cannot photostat or copy other people. um you always have to do your own answer, because the book is in your hands. People may snatch it and scribble or whatever, but at the end it will still come back to you. So you have to write your own story. So that is what always one of the principles. And then be patient. I know that young people, or even many of us like below 30, including myself, sometimes we want things fast. We want things like we are out of patience, because I know that this is a fast pacing world, and it's so crazy. Everyone is like competing, running away, competing with one another. So I would say that be patient. uh, in bahasa, they say the other hikmah di sebalik dia lah, so that means that there's some message behind. So it's just that we have to be more sensitive to catch what it is. Yeah. So that's probably my few of the advice. Don't be
Mm,
picky as well, because a lot of them telling me there's no job in the industry. But I would say that when I look through some of the recruitment people, the recruitment, they're still hiring geologists, but they are I would say that they fresh grad, being fresh grad, when they say, oh yeah, 2000 something is low. I know, but sometimes if you really want to stay in this industry, you might want to accept first, and at the end you might have to jump somewhere. I don't know. So that depends on what is your future plan is. So I would say that start somewhere. There is no direct path, like I said. um don't be disheartened, stay strong, and always like take a detour. There's no direct, I would say, success or overnight success, unless you suddenly get a lottery, then you wouldn't want to work.
you want another story? You can open up a company already. You got a big lottery, that one. Okay, I
No
think
lah,
thanks a lot,
I
Avalon.
mean,
I think you have a very good
please don't buy
point. So,
lottery. It's not a good idea. Don't buy a lottery. It's not a good idea. Don't. Haram, haram. Okay.
okay, okay. Yeah, I think you have a very good point. So you should like just don't be picky. You should enter the industry, gain some
Yeah.
experience first. After you have a few year experience, you will be more marketable. The demand will be there lah, actually. Of course, if you don't have any experience, people won't really hire you
Mm-hmm.
for what, right? So after you have a few year experience, then
Uh-huh.
people will starting looking up on you lah. So I
Yeah.
think that one is a good point. I think this one almost all about the your working experience. I think we can have a little bit on additional part. Actually, I also prepared a bit additional parts.
Oh, okay.
So I think come back to UTP thing.
Okay.
So okay. So how do you feel during the study in petroleum science in UTP? So about maybe the facility or the lecturers over there or the classroom or anything in UTP. So how you feel about it?
Okay. In my point of view, that
Mm.
okay, of course there is always a room for improvement, But I would say that I would say that in terms of facility wise, it's the resources is a lot. First thing we talk about resource. The resource, we have a lot of books. We have I would say that quite number amount of microscopes for those who are studying the facilities. And overall, I would say it's a good to very good. I would say comparing to the some of the university outside, because some of the university outside, um, of course I won't mention or what the names of it, but some of the university when I visit outside, I still feel the home ground is still doing better in terms of facilities, and also of course in you have the facility is
Okay,
different
okay.
thing, but their maintenance of the facility is also quite good, I would say. Yeah, the maintenance part is a very important part, because everyone most of the time they will buy good machines in the beginning, but whether or not they maintain it or they do a
Yeah.
maintenance on it, it's a big part of it lah, I would say.
Because after a lot of usage, then the thing will very fast lah. You broke
Yeah,
out.
it will break down very fast. So it's good lah that UTP take effort to go and maintain those equipment, go and take good care of the thing. I can see that the technicians are putting a lot of effort in making sure that the equipments are in a good condition, and even do running the tests. So yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So those are about the hardware. So, other than that, what subject you like the most in computer science program?
The subject.
Geology.
Yeah,
Boss here.
that is one of the subject I really love the most, even as a student back then, because I believe that learning that it's an art. Geology is an art. I think it depends how you make your subject interesting, I would say. Even some of the subject that I don't not so in favor like, but I will try to make it interesting. So at the end, it depends on each of it, because at the end, it also you have to look at your own effort. Even though some of them they say, oh, the lecturers this and that, but at the end, you still have to. The lecturers already do their very best to teach you. I would say this is the thing that we can tell you. But at the end of it, the rest of it, I think that it is up to you as well. It's not only the one part that one party playing the part of it.
Okay. So I think you like all the subjects in UTP lah, ladies.
Most of it lah, I would say most of it lah,
Oh, okay,
because
okay. You find the fun point lah for every subject, huh?
yeah, because
Okay.
I would say that the lecturers are fun. Okay, but then also what important is actually I would say that UTP is a very memorable place, because we have some cool lecturers, and we have those lecturers are really like teach in a very good manner, and very memorable. For me, I think it's a plus point lah. Some of the lectures until today I still can remember them, even after I've graduated like 6 years or
Oh,
7 years. A few of
what?
them like Askuri,
Oh,
AP
okay.
Askuri, and then sometimes Dr. Suhaili, my
Oh,
FYP
okay.
supervisor. So we are
Mm.
still in contact in some sense, maybe in the FB or Messenger. I think it's I would say it's good. Those are most of the lecturers. So you also, I still can remember you back then. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, that
so
time is different lah. I was a tutor that time.
but yeah.
So in
So
your
so
lab, but I couldn't really remember you in which class. It's so long time ago when I was master lah that time.
yeah
2012 probably. Or
yeah that time
2013.
yeah
Oh, it's already 7, 8 years back.
yeah.
And I
So
also take care of a lot of classes. So sometimes I was like a bit mixed up. Then after that,
yeah
I also
yeah
teach a lot of
of course
students,
of
and
course
it's like, okay. Okay
yeah
lah.
yeah
You I still remember lah, of course, right?
yeah
We
because
have a lot of
in contact.
chatting, and we
Yeah
are sitting in the same lab also that time. So that's why I know you very
yeah.
well.
So we are
Yep, yep.
exchanging ideas as well. So even after graduate, so yeah. So
When
roughly we are
we
still.
work together, this one, some places it's really, really hot, that one. No kidding, that one. Okay, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I think almost the end. It's already 9:54. I think
Okay.
almost end our sessions.
Okay.
I think if without any questions, I think no more. Okay, okay, okay. So I think thank you very much, Avalon, staying with us tonight and share with your experience with us. So I
Okay.
think the viewer will have a lot of information from you and get some insight like what Petronas is doing, what your job is doing, then those kind of things. So yeah, really, really appreciate your effort, your time. Yeah, we are not paying you or anything. So
No,
thanks
it's
for your
okay.
time to come your experience. So thank you very much again.
Okay, you're
Anything you want to
welcome.
say, like the last word to
Okay,
everyone?
yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to do sharing. I think it's an enjoyable session. So
Yep.
if you like those who not able to join us live, you can always take a look at the video, and also you can always Facebook message me, but you have to let me know who before prior I can accept or not, because sometimes lately we have a lot of like online scamming, like even the government reminds us on this. So you just introduce yourself, like you are from where, you want to know about geoscience, what. So you do feel free to drop me a message in the Facebook message. And for those who interested to know more about UTP and also to know more about geoscience program, you can always drop a comment or a message in this UTP Geoscience, or
Facebook
even you,
page.
yeah, UTP Facebook page. Okay, so you can always drop a comment there. So yeah, I think pretty much. So for this period, I would like to remind everyone, safety first. So stay at home because you are playing a very important role for the frontliners and for our people and for everyone. So yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks,
Uh,
Avalon. So
okay,
I
sure.
think that's it for our session tonight.
Okay.
And we have another session on next Monday. Is about our student in UTP. I try to get one student together with
Okay.
me,
Mm-hmm.
share with you his student life in UTP, the current student life in UTP. So next Monday, 9 to 10 p.m. as well, in Facebook Live sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, thank you everyone for watching and see you next time. Good night. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
So okay.